Hello, my dear students. Welcome to our interactive learning, writing opinion introduction. You might want to take notes while listening to the audio.
Welcome to Writing Opinions Introduction. Let's learn about opinion writing. What is opinion writing? It's writing that's used to convince or persuade readers to do something or to agree with a certain viewpoint or belief. To help you write great persuasive pieces of your own, we're going to explore different types and elements of opinion writing. Let's take a look at some different types of opinion writing. What are the different types of opinion writing? As with all writing, each type of opinion piece is created for a specific audience and purpose. Remember that the basic purpose of opinion writing is always to persuade. Look through the examples to learn about some of the most common types of opinion writing. Newspaper editorial. A newspaper editorial is an article that expresses the writer's strong opinion on a current event or topic. Usually, the editorial is published first, and then readers are allowed to submit responses that either agree or disagree with the writer's opinion. Editorials can be formal or informal in tone, and they often end with a question or a strong statement that gives readers something to think about. Persuasive essay. A persuasive essay is a formal essay in which the writer presents a logical argument to support his or her opinion. The audience for this type of writing might be a teacher or group of classmates, readers of a certain magazine, or even judges in a contest. It's common for students to be asked to write a persuasive essay about why they deserve college scholarships or job opportunities too. Political speech. A political speech is a speech designed to convince people to agree with a certain way of thinking or to take action for a candidate or cause. Remember that all speeches start out as pieces of writing. The tone and language in a political speech should appeal to the speaker's audience. These speeches may be formal and fact-based or informal and emotional. Sometimes politicians include personal stories to help listeners relate to a cause or feel comfortable supporting the politician as a candidate. Response to a prompt. At times, you might be asked to respond to a prompt or question about a topic and take a side. For example, after reading a book, a writing prompt might ask you to defend a character's actions or make a case for why the book's ending is or is not satisfying. A response to a prompt is usually formal and full of strong support, such as quotes and text evidence.
So these are some of the types of opinion writing. We have seen that we can see more of them, like brochures, like advertisement, like so many others that we have discussed in the PowerPoint earlier. So these are the only 5 that are most known or famous of. Next, we are going to see the elements of persuasive or the element of opinion writing.
Now that you've had a chance to learn about some types of opinion writing, let's look at the elements that make up a good opinion piece.
The elements of opinion writing. You have here 4 color-coded tabs, as you see: yellow, pink, green, and blue. You are going to see a topic, and you are going to identify the opinion statement, which is the topic sentence. We will give it an orange color. Then all the claims and reasons in paragraph 2 and 3, we're going to give it a pinkish color, and then the green color for evidence in paragraph 2 and 3, and then the conclusion is in the last paragraph. That means introduction, 2 paragraphs as a body building, and 1 as conclusion.
To write a great opinion piece, you'll need to include certain elements that will make your argument strong. Let's look at an example opinion essay and see what the writer did well. Select each tab to learn more about the elements of opinion writing.
So the first tab that I'm going to select here is the opinion statement.
Opinion statement. What do you think? Read the essay. See the highlighted opinion statement in the first paragraph? It tells what the writer thinks in a clear way. It also tells readers what the argument in the essay will be about. An argument is all the things a writer uses to convince readers to agree with his or her opinion.
So, safety first. Let's listen to the topic that we're having here, safety first, and only the first paragraph. Have you ever experienced an earthquake or a tornado? These are scary events. So far, I've been lucky enough not to be caught in a natural disaster. But because of the safety drills we practice at school, I feel like if we were, I would know what to do. A lot of us probably know more than our parents about staying safe. If we could find a way to teach safety to everyone, there would be a lot less fear and fewer injuries during natural disasters. So, the first paragraph here, your opinion is that you need to teach safety to everyone, and people will be less afraid, and there will be fewer less injuries if a natural disaster happened in your place or area. Now, if you go along and read the second and third, and here is the last paragraph. Second, third, fourth, and last paragraph is the conclusion. And how do you know the difference between paragraphs? You get to see this little space indent. While writing an essay, do not make an arrow. I see one of the common mistakes that some of the students make an arrow instead of leaving the space. No, just leave the space and I will know that this is the beginning of each paragraph. See, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So listen first to the topic before getting to identify the claims, evidence. Listen to it carefully, listen to the essay carefully, and try to identify the claims, the reasons, evidence, and conclusions.
Safety first. Have you ever experienced an earthquake or a tornado? These are scary events. So far, I've been lucky enough not to be caught in a natural disaster. But because of the safety drills we practice at school, I feel like if I were, I'd know what to do. A lot of us probably know more than our parents about staying safe. If we could find a way to teach safety to everyone, there would be a lot less fear and fewer injuries during natural disasters. Imagine if you were at a mall and felt the earth start to shake. Would you know to avoid the elevators and cover your head and face with your arms? I bet you would, because you've learned it in your classroom. Many grown-ups wouldn't know, though, and might think running or trying to get to a higher or lower spot would be smart. We should teach them what we know so that they can stay safe, too. My cousins live in an area with a high tornado risk and practice weather drills at school. The teachers realized that families needed to know what to do if a tornado hit, too. The school held a safety event. They gave drill demonstrations and shared emergency contact lists and supplies that could help everyone. It turns out that the families got to use what they had learned. A bad storm knocked out power for a while and damaged some of the trees and buildings. Everyone in the community was okay because they knew how to avoid getting hurt or stranded. Schools can help communities a lot. Many schools are creating community gardens that provide fresh food and educating families about nutrition. Some schools also hold food drives for hungry people and have fitness fairs and presentations from health experts. It's great when a community learns together and stays safe together. Clearly, educating the whole community about safety is a smart thing to do. We should talk to our families and our teachers about organizing a safety event that can help all of us. It might just save a life.
Very good. Now, since we know now the opinion statement or the topic statement, let's go and click the tab of claims and reasons.
Claims and reasons. Why do you think it? The sentences highlighted in the second and fourth paragraphs are claims and reasons. They tell readers why the writer thinks his or her opinion is right. In persuasive writing, it's important to include good claims and reasons to clarify your opinion statement.
So if you say many grown-ups wouldn't know though and might think running and trying to get to a higher or lower spot would be smart, we should teach them what we know so that they can stay safe. We could teach them, or we should teach them, this is your own opinion. You think that these skills should be taught in classrooms and schools. Now, schools can help communities too, a lot. This is another opinion here. Now, it's great when a community learns together and stay safe together. Now, all these claims, you need to give evidence so that people would actually believe you. So here he's going to give next the example of the cousin who lived in a high tornado risk area. And schools, what did the school do? What did they provide to help communities? So these are the pink colored sentences are the claims and reasons. Now the evidence are going to be followed. These claims and reasons should be under it.
Evidence. How can you prove you're right? All of the text highlighted here is evidence, such as facts and examples that support the writer's claims and reasons. It's sort of like building a table. The top of the table is the writer's opinion, but it can only stand and be useful if it has sturdy legs or a good argument holding it up.
Now the good argument here, the example of my cousins and the example of how the school would help the communities. Finally, the conclusion, the blue one. If I press the blue button, where would I see the conclusion? Of course, it comes at the very last of the paragraph. Now, clearly, here is a transition, one of the words that you should know. Obviously, not to mention. You will find it
Conclusion.
down.
What do you want the audience to think or do? Take another look at the last paragraph. Every great opinion piece needs a conclusion at the end that restates the writer's key points and gives readers something to think about. A conclusion can be a whole paragraph or only a couple of sentences. It all depends on what the writer thinks will make his or her argument strong.
Now here, the conclusion is the whole paragraph, which is the last paragraph. It's restating the introduction. It's telling again, but in different ways, in different words, the same idea that you are trying to persuade, which is education or educating the whole community about safety is a smart thing. Yeah, we should educate all people and all families. Schools and teachers would help as well. So, since you know your four colors, do you think you'll be ready to practice your own? I hope so. Let's take a look at the second example here.
Read this newspaper editorial. Select the opinion statement in the first paragraph. Remember that the opinion statement tells readers what the writer thinks.
Okay. First, we'll listen to it all, and then we will try to identify the four elements.
Kids need field trips. Last week, this newspaper published an article about school field trips. The writer of that article feels that time spent outside of the actual classroom is a waste. He thinks field trips should be stopped forever. I couldn't disagree more. Time spent experiencing the world around us by visiting libraries, museums, theaters, science centers, and parks is educational and definitely benefits kids. Time in the classroom is great, and there's no substitute for reading books together or practicing experiments in groups or learning new things from a teacher. The classroom is where we get our foundation for thinking, communicating, and solving problems. But it's really important to see things outside the classroom too, so we can get a taste of how things we learn about in class work in real life. If we learn about the gold rush, for example, and then visit a museum that has gold rush artifacts, that time in history comes to life for us in a new way. Visiting a science center can let us see demonstrations of hydropower and other things we could never see at school. We become smarter by getting these new experiences. The teachers here support field trips because it gives them a chance to show us that what they teach us is valuable. My math class even took a field trip to a bank so the manager could show us how division and fractions are used in a real business. It made me and my friends try even harder to do a good job in class, because we knew that we were learning important skills that would help us all through our lives. The thing is that kids shouldn't be limited to just one environment or one kind of experience. Field trips don't take away from our time at school. They make it better by letting us learn in the real world too. And isn't that what school is all about anyway? It's supposed to make us smart and thoughtful so we can succeed in the real world. My social studies class is scheduled to take a trip to the state capitol, where we'll get to see the governor's mansion and real state documents we've learned and written about. Please support these kinds of experiences for me and for all school kids.
Okay, now you have a sheet with the same essay, Kids Need Field Trip. Obviously, the writer, the author, is a very supportive person to trips and field trips, unlike the person who wrote the newspaper opinion. Now, here we need to find the introduction or the topic sentence, the opinion statement, as we say. And of course, the opinion statement is time spent experiencing the world around us by visiting libraries, museums, theater, science centers, and park is educational and definitely benefits kids. Now here, he's having a very strong argument that disagree with the newspaper published earlier. So here, I'm going to click it like this, and we need to check our answers.
Great job! You've identified the opinion statement.
So that's clearly the opinion statement. Now next we're going to find the claims and reasons.
Select the claims and reasons in the second and third paragraphs that are related to the opinion statement. The claims and reasons clarify and strengthen the writer's opinion statement. Look for sentences that relate to the opinion statement and are followed by examples.
Now here, but it's really important to see things outside the classroom. So all this sentence too, so we can get taste of things. This is all your claim. This is your opinion. This is what in the second paragraph. The third paragraph, you're having teacher here enjoy field trip. Now, the teacher here enjoy field trip and thinks that it is actually valuable. So I have here two statements that supports my claim. These are my reasons. And after these reasons, we'll find examples. So if you see, if we learn about gold rush, these are examples. And here my social class, studies class is scheduled. That's another example. So let's check our answers.
That's right. You've identified the writer's claims and reasons.
Excellent. Now,
select all of the evidence that supports the claims in the second and third paragraphs. Remember that evidence can be quotes, facts, details, and examples. Look for pieces of information that help make the writer's claims and reasons seem sensible.
now here we chose but till life, but it's really important in the classroom. We chose this as claim. What are the examples that support my claim? If we learn about gold rush, for example, here, all this statement, it's a very good way to demonstrate what we have studies, to give us new experience. It gives us new experience. Visiting a science center, of course, it gives to the experience. So this is the example that shows how you learn outside the classroom. And here down there, how the teacher support. Now we are going to see the math. How did the math class helped to build real business and how it improved our skills throughout our lives. So these two sentences should be the answers of the evidence. Let's check it out.
Great work! You've identified the evidence that supports the writer's claims and reasons.
Now lastly is the conclusion. Now
highlight the editorial's conclusion. You remember what the purpose of a conclusion is, right? It's to make readers remember and think about the writer's opinion or to make them take action.
Exactly. So here, this is the conclusion. And we know that the conclusion is the last bit of the topic of the...
Absolutely. You've identified the editorial's conclusion.
Well done.
You're near the end of the lesson, so get ready to show what you know. Think back to all that you've learned about the types and elements of opinion writing. Read the question and answer choices. Think carefully about all you've learned about opinion writing so far. Then select the correct answer.
What is the purpose of opinion writing? To persuade others to agree with or do something, to show your knowledge about a topic like informative text, to prove your research is reliable, or to help people become better at something. Of course, it's the first one, to persuade people to agree with you or disagree.
That's right. You understand the purpose of opinion writing. Read the question and answer choices. Think carefully about all you've learned about opinion writing so far. Then select the correct answer.
Which list includes only type of persuasive writing? Newspaper, editorial, explanatory, essay, and script. I don't think script was one of the options, was it? Newspaper, editorial, political speech, opinion essay, newspaper, editorial, magazine interviews, news stories. News stories is wrong. Newspaper, editorial, personal narrative, no. Informational speech, another no. So of course is the second one.
Exactly right. The newspaper editorial, political speech, and opinion essay are all types of persuasive writing. Read the question and answer choices. Think carefully about all you've learned about opinion writing so far. Then select the correct answer.
Now, why is it important to provide a clear opinion statement in a persuasive writing? Because it proves you did a lot of research, or because it lets reader know what you think, or because it shows you are a good speaker, or because it helps you relate to your reader. And of course, it's just because it lets reader know what you think, know what are you standing for, know what is your opinion.
You got it! You know why a clear opinion statement matters in persuasive writing.
Now to the last question.
Read
the question. Which statement is true? Claims and reasons are optional in an opinion essay. Claims and reasons are discussed only in the conclusion of the opinion essay. Claims and reasons support the evidence in an opinion essay. Or claims and reasons support the opinion statement in an opinion essay. Of course, supports the opinion statement. The claims and reasons support the evidence? No, it's actually the evidence that supports the claims and reason. I just want to clarify this point. Claims and reason are discussed only in the conclusion? Of course not. It's discussed in the main body parts. Now, claims and reasons are optional. Of course, you have to mention them. Other than that, it wouldn't be reliable.
That's right. Claims and reasons do support the opinion statement in an opinion essay. Great job! You've completed Writing Opinions Introduction.
Thank you so much for listening. I hope this video was useful. Play it back and take notes as much as possible with the PowerPoint and the whiteboard discussion. I hope you have had a very conclusive image of the opinion writing. Until we meet again, thank you. Have a lovely day.